We have a plan that could completely solve the water shortage crisis. Instead of costing taxpayers billions, it will create a profitable economic boom and new jobs. Alfalfa and grass hay are the #1 and #3 water-consuming crops in the Southwest. Today, livestock feed accounts for 60% of our total water usage from both our aquifers and the Colorado River. What if we could replace our most water-intensive crops using 99% less water? Sprouting Gear Incorporated has designed an industrial-scale system that replaces traditional alfalfa and grass hay with hydroponically grown feed, referred to as fodder. Our pilot project facility, a climate-controlled warehouse design, will produce hundreds of tons of fodder daily with zero wasted water and no evaporation loss. We produce highly nutritious feed using only 180 gallons of water per ton. In comparison, UC Davis determined that flood-irrigated alfalfa fields use 570,000 gallons of applied water for every single ton produced. That is 180 gallons for a ton of fodder compared to 570,000 gallons for a ton of alfalfa. Our mountain snowpack, reservoirs, and aquifer levels are dropping to record lows with no solution in sight. The existing way we feed cattle is unsustainable. It is the difference between a centuries-old feeding system in collapse and a sustainable future. To predict the future of the beef and dairy industry, you must look at the future of the water supply. The cattle industry is only months away from severe feed reductions. We are seeing signals today that are far worse than the 2022 drought, which forced a mass liquidation of beef and dairy herds. In 2022, 34.4 million head were slaughtered, the highest in recent history. It wasn't a standard business cycle. It was a structural collapse and a sell-off of critical breeding stock. It happened because feed costs more than doubled, eventually exceeding the value of the animals themselves. The circumstances for what comes next are sobering. As of April 24th, 2026, Lake Mead is at 32% and Lake Powell is at only 23% capacity. Simultaneously, we are facing all-time record low winter snowpack levels. We are now entering the driest 6 months of the year without the critical spring snowmelt needed to recharge these reservoirs. While the water supply shrinks, demand is exploding. Southwest states like Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, Texas, and Nevada are experiencing massive population growth. At the same time, we are seeing a boom in water-intensive industrial infrastructure. The new $44 billion chip production center in Texas is projected to consume up to 10 million gallons of water per day, alongside hundreds of new AI data centers that will evaporate millions of gallons more every single day. Severe water cutbacks are inevitable. On April 17, 2026, the Bureau of Reclamation began an emergency release of 1 million acre-feet of water from the Flaming Gorge Reservoir just to keep Lake Powell's power generators from hitting dead pool levels. At the same time, they reduced the water release downstream to Lake Mead by 20%. This 20% reduction will accelerate the decline of Lake Mead's already critical water levels, bringing us closer to a total loss of power generation from the Hoover Dam. When the Bureau of Reclamation looks for where they must cut the Colorado River water allocations, which they must do by the October 1st hard deadline, they will target exactly where the highest water usage goes, alfalfa and grass hay. Faced with the choice, where else would a regulator cut when it comes down to people, chip production, data centers, or alfalfa? They will certainly pick alfalfa. This decision will likely double or triple hay prices, triggering a mass liquidation of herds. We aren't just looking at a temporary shortage. We are looking at long-term structural damage to the future supply of American beef and dairy products. Sprouting Gear Incorporated has been working on this problem and is blueprint ready for a $12 million pilot project in Arvin, California. This facility is designed for large-scale fodder production in one of the most aquifer-depleted sections of the San Joaquin Valley. It is projected to produce 71,000 tons of fodder per year, providing a better than 95% reduction in land, water, and carbon footprint compared to the alfalfa it replaces. To put that in perspective, the fodder produced here would result in a reduction of 41,000 acre-feet of water while feeding the exact same number of cattle. Until recently, the math was difficult. Upfront startup costs were too high to compete with cheap, mass-produced hay. But today, with hay prices doubling and water disappearing, the math has changed. This $12 million pilot project is a strategic starting point. While it is just a drop in the bucket compared to long-term needs, it is the essential phase to prove the model at scale before full market expansion. Unlike many taxpayer-funded initiatives that cost billions without measurable results, SGI is built on a self-sustaining financial model. Our data confirms that fodder sales will not only cover debt service, but will generate a significant profitable margin from day one. Instead of the harsh reality of fallowing land, paying farmers to not farm millions of acres of fertile farmland, which would trigger billions in economic losses and mass unemployment, we are proposing a new industrial sector. By scaling these climate-controlled warehouses across the Southwest, we will create high-quality local jobs and secure the food supply for a growing population. We aren't just saving water, we are rebuilding the foundation of American agriculture. There has never been a better time for this undertaking. We need your support. While traditional banks view this as a high-risk, unproven startup, we see the undeniable math of a resource crisis that cannot be ignored. Please share this video to help us spread the word. If you are an accredited investor looking to back a structural solution to the water crisis, please visit the Investor tab on our website. There is finally a feasible and real solution to the drying of the West. To see the full scope of our research, watch our video, Our Country's Water Crisis, and other videos, or visit sproutinggear.com today to learn more.